All right, YouTube. So for part three, I want to talk about some of the handling characteristics of both pistols. The Glock, obviously being quite lighter, seems to lend itself to transitions a lot faster. And what I mean by that is if you're going from target, snapping from target to target, it seems to be maybe a little more exacting as far as getting onto that target, aligning itself with that target. Since it is lighter, it's overall lighter. The slide's probably a little bit lighter than the 2011s. Also, as far as gripping the Glock goes, for my hand, the Glock seems to fit in the hand perfectly. Okay, so I can shoot the Glock really well. It seems to fit pretty well. With the 2011, it seems the grip is also very comfortable. However, it seems a little thicker, even if it's not. That's a perception. But the 2011s, they're both very comfortable to shoot. I would give, for my hand, I would give the slight edge to the Glock over the 2011. It's pretty close by. They're both very comfortable. They're both, my hand fits the guns both very well. I don't think I really have a preference for as far as gripping either one. I think they both do a pretty good job. On the 2011, I do run the Shooting Sports Innovations Nitrofin, and I think that is a great product. It was made really well. It fit perfectly, and it does aid in taming the muzzle flip or the muzzle movement during cycling of the slide on the 2011. It's a drop-in product. It's roughly $120, I want to say. So check that out at Shooting Sports Innovation if you have the opportunity there. On the Glock, I don't have a forward thumb rest, so I just have this little patch of step tape glued on, and then I kind of rested my thumb there. After long days of shooting, sometimes I'd get a blister or ripped skin on the thumb there. So something to note, but it actually worked pretty well. So my thumb would ride up on that ledge. As far as shooting both pistols in competition, I would give, as far as recoil goes, the Impulse seemed lighter shooting the Glock. As far as controllability, though, I would give that to the 2011, even though the 2011 seemed to have a harder or snappier recoil pulse. The Glock seemed to handle the recoil better, and I assume that's because of the plastic frame, that the polymer absorbs recoil better. However, you know, you can get the metal frames for the 2011. I don't have a 2011 set up with the metal frame yet. I do own one. I just have not had it put on a 2011. But like I said, I think so. Taming the gun for the average person, I think the 2011's there's probably an advantage. But as far as felt recoil, I think the Glock seemed like the recoil impulse was less to me. I don't know if that makes any sense whatsoever, but that's my observation. As far as modifications to both guns, I think, you know, your Glock, you're gonna have to put a lot of work into, or by your choice anyways. I have something that limits the over travel of the Glock trigger. I have something that gives me a shorter trigger or a shorter reset. So I'll kind of give you an example of the trigger pull. It's actually a very heavy trigger pull, but it's the break is very crisp and it stops very quickly. The sights, I use the Terran sights. I like those. I think they're probably one of the better sets out there, and that's because they have a very deep rear channel. The front sight is very tall and thin, gives you a very precise and a fast follow-up shot. Okay, so you get your precise accuracy with that sight. It's also very tall, and there's a deep channel that allows for fast shooting and making a shot when the dot is not exactly in the center maybe, or elevation wise, so you can still pick up shots really quick. They might not be dead center, but they're going to be pretty close and enough to score. So that lent that increased speed with the Glock, having those tall sights. So I would give the edge on sights as far as competition guns go to the Glock. Now the 2011 sights are your adjustable sights, okay? So you can dial those in to basically perfectly zero dead on. Now the rear channel on the 2011 with the adjustable style sight was, I want to say it's a Bomar style sight. It has a more shallow channel on the rear notch. Lens for more, it's probably more precise, more accurate, but it's a slower sight to pick up, okay? It's got a Dawson out front. They're a little shorter. Still very accurate. They're still good enough for competition. However, I do like the taller sights. So I give the sights to the Glock, whereas the 2011, I would give that, they're sufficient, but I'd almost like a set of the Glock style sights on the 2011. I just haven't put out the money or investigated anything like that to do that. But anyways, on to other performance. We kind of went over recoil, impulse. We went over comfort. As far as comfort goes, the same with the recoil impulse. I think they're both very comfortable guns to shoot. I enjoy shooting both of them. I think your magazines fall out of the 2011 easier than they do the Glock. You get one more in the tube reliably on the 2011. So magazine function, reloading, we'll give that to the 2011. I'm on both of these. I run that like step tape that's glued on to the grips. So they both, as far as texture goes and grip texture, me holding onto the gun, they're both kind of equal there.